Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. Objects, I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And first of all, before we get into everything, this is going to sound a little bit out of character for me, but I don't want to be, and I'm going to say, quote unquote, a complete attention whore, because this is not our anniversary episode, not at all. So right. I'm just going to ask one favor. Yeah. Pretend like we're in a meeting and you're running the meeting and it gets to a certain point in the meeting. So Mike, could you please announce to the group or do whatever? That's all I want.
Right. So is anyone here celebrating a sober anniversary of a year or more?
Ooh.
Horseshack over in the corner.
My name is Horseshack. I am an alcoholic, and yesterday I celebrated 14 years of sobriety. So thank you. And the room goes wild. Okay, so that's all that I wanted. And next week, everyone tune in next week. Mike's anniversary. Mike's anniversary is on Monday, so we're going to do our full anniversary episode, weekend, the whole bit. We're going to get all our sober on and go fucking sober nuts next week. But yeah, that's all I wanted. Just a mild acknowledgement. So thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it. So, but yeah, Mike and I were chit-chatting a little bit before we started because we're trying out, you know, we're transparent about this fucking shit anyhow. Everyone knows we've had technology issues. Mike is trying out a different computer. He's got Chris's computer, his girlfriend Chris's computer. It's not a Chromebook. It's Windows-based. We went through all this different shit. Doesn't matter. But we're kind of going back to normal. We don't have any Band-Aids on anything right now.
Yet.
Yeah, right. Yet. You know, so we're going to go with it and see what happens. And if it was the piece of equipment, then we'll figure it out going forward. But for now, hopefully, who knows? I'm not even going to say hopefully. Whatever happens, happens. So
more will be revealed.
Yeah, and it so far 2 minutes and 6 seconds in, it's fucking working. So that's good. that was Mike's text message.
I clearly did not mute my phone. Yes, I've been doing other things.
Fucking it doesn't, like, as if it matters. So yeah, Mike's got the well, go ahead and explain it. It's your fucking phone. Explain what your ringtone is and what your text message thing is.
Well, my normal ringtone is the theme from Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. And yes, my notification thing is Lurch saying you rang. Now I do have Chris's when she calls me, it's the theme for the Munsters, and when she sends me a text, it is Morticia Adams saying mail's in.
Yeah, it just I haven't done anything with ringtones. Well, I've got an old time ringtone, and if I ever have my phone like the actual ringer on and not on silent,
right, which I
never do. But it's the Roadrunner when I get a text message, any other notification, it's the Roadrunner going beep beep, which
nice.
Gets really fucking annoying, you know. So I like it if I ever want to fuck around that I have that, but I never have my phone off of a silent mode. So at night I do, but that's only for emergency stuff. But we talked about that when Mother died.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, my emergency mode worked, but I don't know. So same thing. This is kind of what we were talking about before we started. I said we're rambling back and forth. This might make for good recording. And Mike's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. It's
No,
nothing. And I said,
and
but no,
clearly I was right.
right, because nothing. I think we settle on the fact that nothing we talk about is necessarily important, but
Mm,
sometimes it's
right.
funny. So all right, but yeah, it's my last day in the Ozarks, man. I had such a nice time here. It was
Cool.
really cool. Yeah, I mean, just everything so far. And I mean, it's basically just 2 weeks into this traveling thing, but I mean, my whole goal with this was to be someplace different, work
Hmm.
during the week like I normally do, and then go explore, go do shit on the weekends, which is what I did.
Nice.
And it was great. And yeah, the other thing I was just kind of a side note here. I think unless something changes, I think I'm gonna spend June back in Indiana. I need
Hmm.
a I need a financial breather. I've got every I've got everything booked, and I start looking at stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. I mean, my work's going well, things are building up, all this stuff. It's all going to happen, but I'm like, same thing as we were talking about a few episodes ago. I can push it to the point where I'm like, not even where money's a little bit weird. It's like super fucking tight, and I don't,
Huh?
I don't want to do that. So,
Yeah, right. And
so
you
yeah,
don't have to, so because you're not a
yeah,
complete fucking pig pain in the ass today.
right,
So you get to
right.
go stay with your sister for a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? And to begin with, I'm like, fuck me, man. It's like 2 months in, and I gotta fucking go back. But I'm like, no,
Mm,
that is
yeah.
exactly what I had originally planned on. I don't know if
Hmm.
you remember when I first started talking about this. Is just do this to whatever, and then go hang out someplace for a couple of weeks or a month or do
Right.
whatever. Number one, maybe save some cash, but also, I'm obviously see family and friends,
Right.
and because I can. But yeah, it just I'm starting. This place is a kind of not a mess, but I'm getting all my shit together and
Mm.
pack up my car in the morning. And yeah, 17 trips to get in and out of any place I'm in, but it's okay, man.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be as of
And you
tomorrow.
got to complete your 14th time around the sun
Yeah,
sober
I did.
down in the Ozarks. That's
I
pretty
did.
cool.
Yeah, and it was to be here and again and I don't know, just we could talk about it more next week. I don't want to get into that. We got a whole
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
episode we could talk about shit. So, but yeah, let's save it. But I agree. Number one, thank you, and all the messages and just some of the stuff on Instagram. We got two messages or yeah from people. I'll get to those in a couple of minutes. One was
Hmm.
about our anniversaries, and the other one was a different thing. But we can do our reading first, I suppose.
I suppose.
I suppose let's do a fucking reading. Jesus Christ, man!
All right. Enough
You
about you.
you're just never done, are you? Just never
Well,
done.
I know.
And
Let's see here.
what'd you say? Enough about me?
Yes, I
I
did.
I almost missed that part. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I marked one here. It was from this week. Actually, it's kind of funny because the this week leading up to my anniversary and a couple days after it and whatever, I've got dog-eared pages all over the place here in the
Oh, really?
beginning of April. Yeah,
Nice.
and right. I'm like, yeah, okay. So apparently the universe was trying to say something, but I wasn't sober yet and didn't have this book, so I had to wait a year to get all this good shit.
Right.
But let me see here. So I stuck this in here because apparently this jumped out at me this week. But is it this one or is it this one?
I think it's that one.
I don't know. Maybe it's neither of them. Maybe it wasn't that good. Maybe I wasn't fully awake yet. This one. I mean, they're all good, but
Just trying to find the poignant one.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I like I said, I stuck my special bookmark in a post-it note from fucking 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so it's either one of these two. Hell, let's go for this one.
Cool.
April 13th. There are some people that if they don't know, you can't tell. Louis Armstrong, famous jazz musician. That one I know off the top of my head. Let's see here. We all know people like that. In fact, most of us used to be people like that. Nobody could tell us anything we didn't want to hear about facing without people. Nobody could tell us anything we didn't want to hear without facing our defenses. We all had our own favorite defense mechanisms that we used to push people away when they tried to tell us something. For some of us, our favorite defense was denial. We simply said, no, that's not how it is. Others of us said, yes, that's a problem, but it's caused by someone else, not me. Or we use this one. I know I shouldn't act that way, but I'm just no good and I can't do anything about it. Or we said, it's not that bad. In recovery, we don't have to put up our defenses anymore. Now we can listen to what others tell us and think about it. We can check out new ideas. In the end, we can take what we like and leave the rest. What a relief. We don't have to be know-it-alls anymore. We can relax and learn. Life can be interesting again. Prayer for the day. Higher power, help me to enjoy learning from others. Help me listen well, think clearly, and ask for advice. Today's action. Damn, those actions. I will list the three favorite defenses I used when people tried to tell me something I didn't want to hear. Then I will talk with my sponsor or a recovery friend about how I am changing these defenses.
Well, it's a goddamn good thing you have a recovery friend here on the line. So where would you like to start?
Yeah, that's convenient.
But in that one, obviously, I mean, only a few days ago, I remember reading that because, I mean, there was a lot of obviously good stuff in there. I wrote, nobody could tell us anything without facing our defenses.
Right.
I just wrote down the word denial. Problems caused by someone else. There was a few other ones in there. I wrote down not that bad because that reminded me of something. Take what we like and leave the rest. And then obviously the last thing, the three favorite defenses. So maybe let's start there. I mean, can you name off three things that either, maybe even now, that you fight against, three defenses or, things that used to be there? And the reason I say now is maybe they don't come out for us, but I'm sure that I've got defenses that are ready to go up. And then I'm like, nah.
Right. Well, I mean, probably the one that I use the most, because I'm intelligent and I'm intuitive and, thank you for laughing. I could barely get it out myself.
Just the way that you said it. Oh, by the way, and it's like I pictured you straightening your imaginary tie.
Right.
Intelligent and intuitive.
Yes, but the one, right. So someone would point out a problem, whatever that may be. And I would agree. Sure. Yes, of course that's a problem. How could it not be a problem? But it's not my fault. I don't have anything. It's a problem. What do you want me to fucking do about it? Why don't you fix it if you got a problem with it? Right. That's
Right.
that was my defense. Pretty much, clearly there was denial involved too. Well, that is denial, but I generally wouldn't say no, it's not a problem. I would agree because that's a good way to manipulate people.
Right.
Agree with their premise and then say that their premise is unfixable and and even if it is fixable, I can't do anything about it, so why are you fucking bothering me with it? Right. So yeah, I mean that was pretty much my go-to. Yeah, and the cool thing today is I get to say yes, of course that's a problem, and I get to look for my part in it. It may not be entirely my problem, but there's something in there that I fucked up somewhere, and I need to look at it and fix it. And again, with all of this shit, it's freeing because I go, okay, that I have a way to get the fuck out of this one way or another, and that's pretty damn cool.
Right.
So yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, and I was actually, as you were talking, I don't know that, and I keep thinking back to, I mean, Dawn was the one that
Mm,
I lied to the most.
sure,
I think because she was, I mean,
because she spent
she's
the most time with you.
well, yeah, and well, and probably during, yeah, in that, in the beginning of my worst, yes, I spent the most time with her because I'm thinking back when Pam and I were together. Not that I didn't have a problem, because I mean that's when I got my DUI and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But obviously, within from 94 to 2004, huge difference, in who
Hmm.
I was and how much I was drinking and how much I was hiding and lying. But I just think about all those conversations, and I don't remember actually, like you said, unless I thought it could, just kind of placate the situation, or
Hmm.
placate the person, meaning her or somebody else. I don't
Hmm.
think that I would agree to a problem unless I just
Mm.
thought that that would make them walk away. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But what I did, was always, it was a matter of, just denial, and
Hmm.
denial and misdirection. you know,
Smoke and mirrors.
right? And like I said, and I've been open about this stuff. She knew, that I was drinking during the day, but she
Hmm.
couldn't prove it because
Right.
I found out that she was marking bottles, so I just didn't drink out of that bottle anymore. I bought my own.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
I found out that she was counting the beer, so I bought my own,
Hmm.
and those sort of things. And even when because she knew, she could tell it was my eyes. That picture I
Sure.
posted on Instagram. I mean,
Hmm.
that was drunk Bill with his drunk eyes, and
Hmm.
every fucking time. Some people it's their nose. Some people it's actually their speech.
Hmm.
I could hold my own. I could speak, I could walk, I could act, unless I really crossed whatever that line was that we talked about. But
Right.
I couldn't hide the I couldn't hide the drunk in my eyes. But I just fucking lied to her. I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, but this and that. I'm like, no, that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing this. And making her feel foolish, because then she started, and she admitted this to me a couple of times. She's like, you made me doubt, you make me doubt myself. I know I'm
Hmm.
right, but she's like,
Right.
you make me doubt myself. And
Hmm.
I think back on it, I'm like, it's just what a
Right.
fucking piece of shit. Because you know what? She's a beautiful person inside and out.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
not even speaking about her looks, because
Right.
that's
I
not the
know.
point. She's a beautiful individual and a caring
Hmm.
individual.
Right.
And her and I have we just have a wonderful relationship now. And you
Hmm.
look back at that, and but I did that to my mom, and I did that to my sister. I did that to whoever got close to me, who would
Hmm.
ask those questions.
Sure.
Denial was my biggest friend.
Hmm.
It wasn't me, but I saw you. Nope, wasn't me, man.
Nope. Nope. You were wrong.
Yeah, it's must have been some other guy that looked just like me and was wearing my
Hmm.
shoes. It just
Right.
fucking wasn't me, man. But yeah, I don't know if I had three. But so the reason I thought about it when I said, like today, the
Hmm.
biggest thing is that I think about it from I don't care what it is, a work standpoint, or anything. Anytime something happens, to me, or I made a mistake, or I did something wrong,
Hmm.
it's my first, and it's so stupid. It's in my brain. It doesn't come out this way. I don't use this, but in my
Mm.
head, I'm like, this happened because of,
Mm.
and it's never because of me. At least that's not my first go. I'll admit to it, because I learned. It's
Right.
far better to admit to something than it is to try to cover it up, and it's a fucking lie beyond lie. But that's still, it's a go-to in my head. Thankfully, it
Hmm.
just doesn't come out of
Hmm.
my mouth.
Right. Oh God, we've talked about that tons of times, right? Our
Right,
thoughts don't fucking matter; it's our actions,
right,
and that's a prime example of it. Right? Exactly. Well, and when we've talked about it, we've talked about, look, that's the way we fucking lived for the first 40 plus years of our lives. Why would that be any different today? Add 14 years of trying not to act that way.
right.
Yes, we're better at not acting that way now, but yeah, our brain, our fucking stupid, stupid electric meatball in our skull. I just heard that term this week and I loved it, so I got to use it. Yay! Um, but yes, the electric meatball in our skull is still going to fire wrong because that's just the way we've done it forever.
you know, I I always not hate, but I never try to suggest an episode anything to do with the
Mm,
title, but something
right.
with a fucking meatball.
Yep.
The electric meatball.
Yep. I think
Oh,
we found our episode title.
oh my God. That's fucking, I've never heard that before. Thank you. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's weird, like you said, I mean, these things, and once again, I know we say this all the time, but for anyone who's newish, or if you feel like struggling, or you feel like you are struggling, because you
Hmm.
haven't gotten rid of these, number one, either bad behaviors, past behaviors, defects of characters, is, we call them, and a lot of people do. They don't go away. You
Right.
just you just find a way to, number one,
Mm.
you recognize and manage them, and if
Hmm.
nothing else, minimize the effects of this fucking evil shit that's still within you.
Sure.
Mike says it. Yeah, you say it all the time, man. Your thoughts are still all fucked up. All
Hmm.
kinds of fucked up, I think you say.
All kinds of. Yes, I do. Because it's true. Because it's a program of honesty.
Right, right,
But again, yeah. But I say that shit out loud, and I make sure everybody around me knows that, so that way, yeah. So I'm accountable. But yes, my thoughts are still fucked up, and that's like you said. If you're early on, or even you're not so early on, and you're still struggling with the fact that your thoughts are all fucked up in your head, it's okay, man. It was like when we were at that retreat, and that guy said to me, he said, "I feel like I'm faking this. I feel like I'm cheating something, or this is not real." And I went, "Yeah, we all feel like that. It's okay,
right,
man.
right,
you know, these are not the people that we are. We are the people today that act differently and and do the right thing, but that's not fucking who we are. If we were, we wouldn't have ended up here."
right. Well, and that's a thing too, that we talk about having to do the work, and it's these
Mm.
days, it's more of a, everything we talk about, we use the word maintenance, and the daily maintenance, and all those sort of things, and
Hmm.
maintaining, our spiritual condition, but it's still work. There's still effort that has to go into play. You can't. I mean, you can't. I don't know. With exercise, you got to have movement. To gain a gain weight or lose weight, whatever you want to do,
Hmm.
you've got to you've
Build
got to
muscle,
yeah, you've
right?
got to take some sort of action. It's the same thing with this. I mean, you can't just sit there and do nothing, even if it's relatively
Mm.
simple and more habit than anything. It still takes
Hmm.
work, but
Hmm.
yeah, we've got to keep working on this shit, or the bad stuff is just it's just kind of hovering and bubbling below the surface and just waiting to
Right.
you know fucking burst.
Absolutely.
and and it would be a bad thing, because I sure as fuck don't want that to happen. Um,
No.
but the other thing that I wrote down was, not that bad, and I don't remember exactly
Mm.
how the line went, but just in general, when if somebody calls us out on our behavior, and I just immediately thought back of, once again, 36 years old, that's when my dad got sober, and when I was 36, and we discovered this on this podcast about a year
Hmm.
and a half ago. That
Right.
was the first time that I actually did. I questioned my drinking, and looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'm not that bad. So, um,
Right.
but I was, I was that bad.
Of course.
And it was only, and I say only, quote unquote, 5 years before I got sober, roughly. Could have been 4.5, whatever the deal was. But
Right.
I mean, yeah, just to have that, to realize where I was. And I know, the darkness of that last 4 years before I got sober was super fucking dark.
Hmm.
I mean, I was that bad, and
Of course.
just, I don't know. I mean, and then to have somebody come up and, I don't know, somebody, yeah, you get a little cut on your hand. That's not that bad. But if
Hmm.
you're fucking bleeding and you're trying to hold it and blood spurting out all over the place, that was how we were living, and people were telling us,
Exactly.
you got to go to the fucking doctor, man. No, it's not that bad. I'm
Yeah.
good.
It's not that bad.
But a
Tis but
flesh.
a scratch.
I was just gonna say that. 'Tis but a flesh wound. That's it. That's all it is.
That's
um,
right.
Now, the last thing, I guess, that I don't know that we've ever talked about this, and take what we like and leave the rest.
Mm.
That's an AA saying from the Big Book. Am I correct on that? Is that a Bill Wilson thing, or do you know?
I'm not 100% sure on that one. I want to say it is, but I'm again not 100% sure. About 75%. I think it
Yeah,
is Bill Wilson though.
that's like, and I think so too. And for again, we've heard it we've heard it, not maybe from
Oh,
day one,
right.
but I mean from very, very early on, all the time. But for anyone
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't understand what that means, that's the cool part about, and I'll just say recovery in general. And
Mm-hmm.
there's people that we've talked to that once again have popped in or dipped a toe in or even maybe a full leg into the AA thing and went off
Mm-hmm.
in a different direction. But a lot of those people will say, hey, I took some stuff from it, and
Right.
whether it was minor things or big things or whatever it is, that's the point. Even for
Mm-hmm.
those of us like Mike and I and a lot of people that we know that have stayed within the principles and the foundations and everything like that of all the AA principles and program and blah, 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 there's
Mm-hmm.
still certain things that we probably don't follow. Well, I know for a fact that we don't follow things, whatever the the exact. There's no rule, I mean, there's suggestions,
Right.
there's steps, and all that.
Yeah.
Nobody
There's
does it.
one rule.
Yeah,
62.
yeah, right. But nobody does it the exact same way. So all of us do,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, in some way, shape, or form, take what we like and leave the rest. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. And we as an alcoholic, I have to be careful with that because
Right.
there's some shit, right. Well, I'm not doing that. We're not talking about that. Yes, you have to work the program the way it's laid out. But yeah, there are things that, um, you know, okay, there are certain groups that you're not supposed to talk about drugs, right?
Right.
That's like on a group level thing, individual meeting thing. Um, Foxy Don actually showed up at Puritas this week,
Oh,
right? He
really?
hasn't been there in a while. Yeah, he was. Guys that don't know, he very instrumental in our early sobriety. He's the one that got me into having Puritas, my home group. He's in his later 80s now, and so he doesn't get out as much as he used to, and whatever. But anyway, one of his sponsees is our new secretary, and so he came to hang out this week. No big deal. Just he was there.
Right.
And we're hanging out before the meeting, and somebody was talking about leading West Park men's, right? And that they were going to be leading this past Wednesday, and one of the other guys, one of the normal home group guys, said, "Hey, man, make sure you don't talk about drugs." And of course, Don and I, because I love Don, and he's got the same, the guy's got 45 plus years sober. And we always love tearing into this, well, I remember, reading the book, I remember some guy named Bill Wilson, he talked about drugs, and some guy named Dr. Bob, he talked about drugs, and in the beginning, Dr. Silkworth, he mentions drugs, and
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's in the fucking big book. Now I understand on meeting levels, again, some guys are real serious. Singleness of purpose. Okay, settle down with your singleness of purpose. It does not mean you can only talk about alcohol. But some people believe that. Okay, fine. I don't take that. I don't subscribe to that notion. That's something that I leave. Again, the founders took drugs.
Right.
The guy was like, yeah, well, Bill Wilson was prescribed. And I said, yeah. And then he fucking abused him. And Dr. Bob was pulling him out of his fucking doctor bag. So,
Right.
So shut the fuck up. But yes, there are differences, and there are things that I leave. And, again, this is before the meeting, and, we have fun arguing that point with people that don't like to argue that point.
Right.
But there are things about the program definitely that I leave, not what to do with the program, how it works. No, yeah, that's not, I'm not doing a fucking 6 and 7 step.
Right.
Again, back to this wonderful denial shit. I'm fine. Everything, it's not that bad. I don't have any defects of character. It's everybody else's fault. Yeah. Right. So, yes, work the program the way it is worked out, but there are bits and pieces that I leave. Clearly, the God thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. If that works for you, if that's how you wrap your head around your electric meatball, around how this thing works, great. Cool. I don't give a fuck one way or another.
Right.
I don't. I wrap my head around it another way. That's cool too. Yay. All right. So yes, leave what you can't use, but take what you can, and what you can take and use it.
Right. Well, and who do you know? Which was that was the home group that Mike and I went to for years.
Right.
That was, again, very strict. They called themselves a closed meeting
Mm-hmm.
of Alcoholics Anonymous, which
Right.
in technically what a closed meeting is just people who have if you have a desire to quit drinking, then you could be there. If you're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not sure, and the whole point is that they're one that no drugs in the lead. So we
Right.
had friends, when we were.
Oh,
Actually, we would have people lead, or when we led there. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it, but
right.
um,
You're right. Weirdo.
yeah. But I remember plenty of our friends, saying, "Well, I did anything to get my alcohol." And it just said, "Change the fucking words." I mean, people are going
Right.
to realize what you're talking about, but you just,
Mm-hmm.
just don't
Out of
make.
respect.
Yeah, out of respect. If you don't want to do it, if you can't lead in 30 minutes and you want to talk about drugs, don't
Uh-huh.
go to that meeting, and don't agree to lead.
Right.
That's what it is. But the other
Mm-hmm.
thing I thought about as far as like leaving certain things, a lot of what we were told, like you said, the God thing, number one, but thankfully we had people
Mm-hmm.
like, Chicken Dan and stuff like that that said, hey,
Mm-hmm.
and explain the whole higher power thing to us, which is wonderful. But then the
Right.
other thing too is that the praying, everyone says you got to get down on your knees. It humbles yourself and
Mm.
this and that. There's not
Mm-hmm.
been one fucking day of my sobriety that I've gotten
Right.
down on my knees to pray. I don't
Me
do it,
neither. Right.
And
Me neither.
when I was a kid and I'd go someplace to a Catholic church and you'd have to get do
Mm-hmm.
the whole deal thing, I'm like, fuck, even as a kid.
Right.
And again, I have nothing against people who are in organized religion and do all that shit. No issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it.
Right.
I don't want to do it,
Yeah.
and I don't need to get on my fucking knees to pray. I'm humbled. I can be humble laying on my
Right.
back in my bed, which is what I do. Or
Mm-hmm. Me too.
if I'm someplace else with a group of people, I will literally sit on the fucking toilet with the lid closed, of course, and I'll do my
Mm.
prayers. If somebody's going to be like, "Ooh, you can't do your prayers while you're sitting on a toilet," fuck you.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. I do what I did.
Yes, right. It's happened, and I'm still sober,
Right?
so
Yeah.
eat shit.
Yeah. Exactly. That was perfect. That was actually perfect.
Mhm.
But yeah, and it's a I guess that goes back to the once again, taking what we like and leaving the rest could be an extremely dangerous and slippery slope, if we try to
Mhm.
once again shoot angles and things like that. And
Right. Yeah. Work your own program.
right.
No, work the program, but yes, but do it your way.
Yeah. And if somebody's out there and they're listening to everything they said and you're still confused, talk to somebody close to you that you trust, that has some time and has been doing
Right.
this thing, and run it by them. That's worst case scenario. Ask somebody, am I good
Mm.
doing this, or am I not good, or is this affecting me or not? Because
Right.
we rarely can see our own behavior, and the things that I do every day, it's just I've been doing so fucking long. I mean, I people know what I do, and we've talked about it enough. I mean, I know I'm doing all
Mhm.
the right things, but I can't, if I don't know, we can't see our own behavior sometimes, but I follow my same path that I've been doing for years, and apparently it's worked
Mhm.
so far, right?
Exactly.
So what else? Anything else in the reading? I mean, I think we hit everything that I wrote
Yeah.
down, but it was a good one though. I mean, I liked it.
Yeah. 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 Me too. Yeah. I was, like I said, I stuck the piece of paper in there, and I'm pretty sure that was the one I wanted.
Right.
But I'm not 100% because you know what? I'm not a fucking 100% about anything today, and it's a good thing. I don't know it all.
Right.
Yay.
Is your microphone by any chance loose? Because you were cutting out just a little bit. I don't think it's the recording.
Nope.
It sounded like more of a microphone thing. Okay.
Nope. I don't think so.
You still
Haven't
there?
touched it, and I'm right here. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. I'm sure it's recording fine. It's
Okay.
bubbly.
Weird. No, I mean it's you sound fine, and everything I'm
It's actually-
saying,
it's
the
good.
meter's moving.
Yeah, it's good now. It was weird. It was like a bubbly time for literally about 30 seconds. It was weird. So, but and it did
Huh.
it one other time, but it kicked through after about 5 seconds. So I left it. But that one was, yeah, you sounded like you were like just bubbly. That's the only way I can picture it or
right.
explain it. But
It's
either
my
way,
personality.
yeah, you're fucking bubbly. So one other real quick thing, and this I had to tell you this because it was a perfect example of what I talked about with not losing sleep and all those sort of things and being able to go to sleep at night. So The sobriety counter that I use is my Big Book app on my phone, and I've obviously used it for years. So every year coming up to my anniversary, and it does it every year, and I know it's going to do it, but it still fucking freaks me out because I'd like to do a screenshot of it the day, obviously day of. So it's got,
Mm-hmm.
the number of years and the number of days, the right number of days and all that stuff. Usually it'll hit whatever year it is, or whatever milestone it is, it'll hit the day before on the 17th.
Hmm.
This year it hit 2 days before on the 16th. And I'm like,
Really?
are you fucking kidding me? And so then I like screenshot because I'm like, I don't want to lose the actual milestone year. But I'm like,
Sure.
what the fuck, man? So I go to bed on Wednesday night because my anniversary was on Thursday, and
Mm-hmm.
it was weird. I'm like, God, part of me just wants to stay up till 12:01.
I've done that.
I know you have. But I'm like, I want to stay up, but I'm like, oh fuck, I can't fucking do that. I get up too goddamn early.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bed at I don't know, it's like 10 o'clock or 10:15 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, this would be kind of fun because sometimes, rarely, but sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night, have to go to the bathroom, I'll grab some water or
Right.
whatever. So I woke up and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. And I look at it's 11:40,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm too fucking tired to even stay up for 20 more minutes. So I went
Mm-hmm.
back to sleep. I woke up again at like 2:30 or something like that. Then I took a screenshot, but it was still fine in the morning. But the point is that I had these, I don't even know what my dreams were. They were all fucked up. Must have had a restless night's sleep. They weren't bad dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very active shit going on. Um,
Right.
but I was so fucking wiped out. It's like all morning on Thursday because I don't think I got very much sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was a I probably a mild anxiety, which is so stupid that I can't get a proper screenshot. But then also it's my anniversary, and I do get, I enjoy it. I really do,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking about, I'm like, God, this tiredness is going to be worth it because it's an example,
Mm-hmm.
weird shit happens, bad, quote unquote, bad moments and stuff like that. I sleep like a fucking baby. But when it's,
Right.
it's either I'm trying to get a fucking screenshot on my phone, or it's, coming up on my anniversary, I can't fucking sleep. Are you kidding me? It's fucked up. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just fucking weird.
Control issues, man.
I know. And it was, and the thing of it is that it literally, and I've had that Big Book app. I don't know if I had it. I may have had it the first year because I remember I was spending a ton of money on. I was downloading music at $1 a pop on songs I was downloading, and back when kids when we actually had to legally pay for music,
Mm.
and then different games I was like fucking Angry Birds and all this different shit. And I remember that I was looking for a sobriety app, so it must have been before my year, because I looked at
Mm-hmm.
that one and I remember telling you, I'm like fuck man, I kind of want this one, but like it's fucking $6. I'm like, I don't want to pay fucking $6. And then I walked away and I came back to you. I'm like, do you realize what I just said? And I mean, I don't think you did, because I'm like I probably spent $100 on fucking music and stupid fucking video games, and I won't spend $6 on my fucking sobriety.
Uh-huh.
I immediately ordered it. I did. I'm just like, it was so fucking stupid. And I've done that with a couple of the apps that I have. I think my apps for my reading, same deal. I had to pay, $9, $10, whatever. And to begin with, I'm like, 10 fucking, I'm like, stop it. Just pay the fucking $10. This is helping you live, a decent and,
Right.
somewhat structured life. Right.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just fucking weird. Just weird.
Meh. Then I'm my cheap ass. I've got something called Clean Time Counter, and it's all it is a fucking clock that runs from your sobriety date on.
Right.
Yeah. This is, and I just looked at it. It's 13 years, 11 months, and 28 days.
It's right on track. But the
is.
reason I wanted the Big Book one is because I really did. I wanted it for meetings and stuff like that, because this
Right.
app is set up so if it's literally in the book in the 4th edition, which is what most most meetings have, if somebody says, "Hey,
Right.
okay, we're going to open up to the story that's on page 182," I can go to 182 and it gives me the right page. So the pages are
Right.
lined up,
Yeah, right.
which is great. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, this may only have the first 164, but either way, somebody says we're going to read from page 62, I can, it goes right to that page, it's nice, because some of them don't line up that way. But But yeah, anyhow. So either one of them work. But I mean, I bought it. You pay for it once. It's not like you have to buy it. It's not even $6 a year, which this is not a lot of money, even if I had to do that. So I don't know. But I like it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But so real quick, maybe before we take a break, the Keating Center event last weekend.
Yes. The Keating Center event.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a pretty decent turnout. I have no idea how we did. I was over at the politically incorrect Chinese raffle. No, the baskets raffle. We actually don't call it the Chinese raffle anymore. We haven't done that for, I don't know, 4 years maybe.
Yeah, really?
It hasn't been that long. Yeah. So I was we worked that. So I don't know. They had the poker tables and the blackjack tables and a craps table, and there was people over there playing it pretty much the whole time we were there, the whole 5 hours. So yeah, I'm sure we did pretty damn well.
Nice.
Yeah, good turnout and lots of cool people and people I haven't seen in a while, and yeah, always fun.
Well, that's good. Well, and I know we've talked about it before, but I mean, the Keating Center, that's how they support themselves. I mean, you get donations and all this different stuff throughout the year, and food donations and blah blah blah. But these events, is where they make this and the golf and the clam bake and all the other events that they do. There's probably 6, 7 per year, 5 or 6.
No, not that
really?
many. Nah. We do the clam bake in the fall. We do like a kind of early spring St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
This one, was kind of that one. We did it a little later because a lot of the houses, there are more houses in town now, so a lot of them do St. Patrick's Day. So we've moved a bit forward. Then we do the golf outing. Then we do a summer one, and that's it, man.
Right.
So what, 4?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it seemed like more, but I mean they're well, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're a big deal. I mean they make money, and the turnout. It just even like this clam bake last year. I mean it was so fucking cold. But people still came out, and some people they bought their ticket, they came out, they bought some shit, they were freezing, and they left. They still came out,
right?
To show up, spend some money, literally probably throw some money at people, and then they left. So many people when they were, so I was selling what was I selling? The raffle tickets, right? The 50-50 ones?
Yeah, you were doing the 50-50, right?
Then they're like, do we have to be here? Do we have to be present? I'm like, yeah, you do. And they're like, people just fucking shivering. But yeah, I mean, things like that, they're a lot of fun to be a part of, but I mean, they're important, It's it's the support that the Keating Center gets is just it's always been mind blowing to me in a very, very good way,
Right. Yep.
So along those lines, just as a quick side note there, what do you think for somebody, again, if they're new or somebody's looking to, kind of give back, what do you think are the, I wrote this down as a side note, easiest ways to give back in early recovery or any time, but specifically early recovery, because that seems to be obviously the key time. What do you think are the easiest ways?
Well, the easiest way is join a home group and be a active member of that home group. That's the easiest way, man. Set up the meeting, get there when the lights go on and leave when the lights go off.
Right.
One meeting a week. Right. Make coffee. Be a greeter, stand at the door and shake hands. Everybody that walks in. There were a couple meetings where, we had to do that. I'm still doing it, man. I'm the co-treasurer of my home group. I have been for several years. I sit at the ticket table, right? You guys that don't know, Cleveland AA meetings sell raffle tickets pretty much at every meeting. It's a weird fucking thing, but that's what we do. And I've always wondered, do they have open bars at GA meetings?
Right.
Yeah, Gamblers Anonymous.
Right.
This is a form of gambling. But yes, so I'm right there at the door at the ticket table. So I greet people when they come in, and I'm still doing it. Again, that's do what you fucking did in the beginning, keep doing it, and guess what? You stay fucking sober.
Right.
But yeah, that's really the easiest thing. Be involved, get involved with a meeting once a week, make it your home group, be an active member. That's the easiest way to do it. Doesn't cost you a fucking thing, just some time.
Right.
and it gets you involved. You're there early, you're sitting around with at least a couple other guys or girls who have been around for a few years, are clearly working the program. That's it, man. That's the whole fellowship angle of this thing. And it's an important part of it. It's not the most important part, but it is an important part.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's and we were, again, I'll say forced, because we were, and most of us didn't want to. I know I sure as fuck didn't want to do all that shit to begin
I
with.
still don't fucking want to.
Right. But any of that, I mean, it's easy. And even if, let's step aside again, somebody who doesn't, do a 12-step thing, just get active with some item
Right.
in the recovery community. That's all you have to do, one thing. And I know that especially these days, there's a lot of people out there, and more power to you, because if you have the time and the effort, want to take the effort and all that stuff to do it, people are out there doing all this different stuff. It's social media, it's all these different things that people are, that spreading themselves really thin, which again is fine. If you're young and you got the energy, which neither one of us are.
Nope.
And but this, I mean, we ended up, you don't have to start a podcast. A lot of people do that because they want to get back. Fine, but I have another side note on podcast stuff, but we'll do it after the break. But I don't know, I thought about it with the Keating Center thing. I'm like, that would be a nice, just a good side question about, what is the easiest way. So I think, just getting involved, getting active in one thing. Just one.
Yeah. And again, if you're not into the AA thing or the NA thing or even a recovery thing, go fucking volunteer at a soup kitchen. Go, definitely those people there have substance problems.
Right.
Otherwise they wouldn't fucking be there.
Right.
And, or whatever, man, volunteer at the fucking Red Cross or something. I mean, do something for somebody else is really the bottom line. Get out of your own fucking way and do something for somebody else for the greater good. Make your little corner of the world a better place.
Right. I agree. All right, so this is going to be really fucking weird because first of all, I have to write down the time because I'm going to have to cut the episode here because it doesn't appear that we're going to have to restart a studio. So we're going to take a break like we used to, and I'm going to make a quick note, and then we're going to be well, Mike. I don't know. I almost forgot. You do the break.
Well, we'll be right back after this word from our sponsor while I throw my Chromebook out the window.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi there.
And yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have two websites now. So two websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. But from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
At least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me, 24 Hours, the big book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. .com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
Did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone. You've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone. Welcome back. And hey, we're still here. Haha.
We are.
Throw your Chromebook out the window.
Well, apparently that's the fucking problem.
Well, but here's the thing, and here's the fucked up part. And the only reason that it could have become a problem is because Riverside got better. Okay.
Right.
And what I mean is they got better, and they've had enhancements. They got all these different things. I'm seeing new buttons and new things that we can do, and like all.
Speaking of a word from our sponsor,
right? But I mean, all of these different things, are adding. I think, because it's talking about. Number one, having a certain amount of memory available to run. Also, having a certain amount of it's from the processor cores. So it's
Right.
from if there's any gearheads out there, it's a difference between having a 2-barrel and a 4-barrel carburetor. That's a difference in
Right.
Mike was running on a 2-barrel carburetor and he needed a 4-barrel carburetor. And I think that Chris's computer is a 4-barrel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That's not very updated because I keep getting fucking pop-ups. But anyway.
Oh, are you really?
Well, no, just like shit popping up. This needs to be updated. This needs to be updated. And it's actually in my head. I'm glad it's not coming through your head. Because like bing bong. I'm like, shit, what's that? Anyway.
Yeah, it was funny. Right before we started, I don't know, right as I sent the link to you, I looked down and my computer's like ready for a update install. I'm like, I'm doing this fucking now, But, and the thing of it is that I turn my computer on, pretty much early, and I make sure I look and make sure everything's updated. I do all this different stuff, but I'm like, motherfucker, I had to be on for a minute. Then it's like, oh, hi there. We need to update you. Not now, you don't, motherfucker. But anyhow, so I don't know, for whatever reason. And you know what? We'll figure out what to do going forward. But yeah, it is what it is, and seems to be working so far. So I guess we're not going to complain, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Much.
But speaking of that, I am going to complain about something. So fuck.
All right.
It's nothing to do with us, though. It's actually, I want to be, we talk about all the time and we joke and we're like, oh, we don't want to be like other podcasts and blah, 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 and kind of making a joke out of it. But I mean, we don't, but we also kind of fuck around with it. But I don't even know when it was. 3 months ago, 2 months ago, we've said it a couple of times where, podcasts, I'll always just this whole donation thing, the buy me a coffee thing. And there was one podcast in particular where it popped up and they're getting a lot of fucking donations. And I think I said that. It doesn't matter. I have no problem whatsoever. People want to give their money to them. I have no issue with that. More power to them. But what pissed me off about them is them saying that, there's 2 hosts and they're like, oh yeah, this helps us, continue to bring content to you. This your donations are what run our podcast. And I'm like, okay. And then, we talked about that. And then 2 other podcasts that I listened to, both of them are now doing the same thing, saying the same shit all the time. Now, granted, people say if you want to donate, if you want to support the podcast and stuff like that, and here's the thing, to me, words fucking matter, and if anyone out there wants to help support us for what we're doing, what we're bringing to you, that's perfectly fine. Do it because you want to support us. But if either one of us ever say that we need your donation to do this fucking podcast, turn it off,
Right.
I swear to fucking God, don't listen to us anymore because I get so fucking angry about that. Because here's the thing, and maybe this goes back to, and you said it before, it doesn't cost people any money to, go to help out and, give back at a meeting and stuff like that. And the thing of it is, in my opinion, and I think I'm going to speak for you here, if it's okay for a minute.
Go ahead.
It's our opinion that if you need a donation to run a podcast, you shouldn't have one. If you need the donation. Now, if people give it and donate to you, that's fine. Can it? Some podcasts say it does help defray costs. It will. But you don't need it.
Sure.
Okay.
No.
I'm just getting so fucking irritated with people telling people to listen. If you listen, this is what helps us bring this. This is what helps bring us to you this content every week. Fuck you. Work harder, get more listeners. Seriously, work harder, get more listeners, and then get people to fucking pay you. Get advertisers to pay you. That's the way. If you want to make money doing a podcast, that's how you make fucking money. Yeah. subscriptions, when podcasts have subscriptions, the Mark Barons of the world, these other big podcasts,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't begrudge Mark Maron for doing it. That dude's got a big
No.
fucking thing going on, and certain things are behind a
Yeah.
paywall.
Well, he's also been doing it for like 15
Yes.
years.
Yes. And
Right.
certain things, I know certain episodes are behind a paywall for him, certain aren't, and that's cool,
Right.
He's got a
Yeah.
ton of fucking advertisers though too, so he makes money off of that,
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, he's openly said it's a big part of his business. I mean, and he is an entertainer. That is his
Right.
business. That is his job. We're just we're trying to fucking spread the word of this life is pretty fucking
Right.
cool. And we're going to continue to do that. That's the mission statement of this. Not to get fucking
Right.
rich. I mean, if it happened, I'm not going to turn it down, but that's
Right.
that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, if Amazon comes knocking on the door with an $80 million contract like they did with Spartless, yeah, we're going to take the money. I mean,
Right.
no doubt. I mean, I think we've been open enough about that. But here's the
Sure.
thing: I don't want to take it. I know Mike doesn't either. We don't want to take other people's money to run this fucking thing. We've gotten
No.
some donations, and for the people who've done it, we appreciated it. What both of us would rather have you do, if you want to give, if you want to spend some money, buy a fucking t-shirt, buy a coffee mug,
Right.
get
Yeah.
something from it. Number one, we have a very little profit margin, so it's not about the money even with that stuff. But if you want to give, and with anything like that, buy a fucking t-shirt, again, buy a mug, buy
Right.
a fucking bag of
Yeah.
coffee, buy a book.
Yep.
Take
Yeah.
something home with you. You don't have to. We don't need your money. That's my point. And to part of it, I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to take the link down for this buy me a coffee shit, because I don't want any part of these these fucking whores out there that are lying to people and telling them that they need the money. Because here's the other thing: these people are employed. They have
Right.
jobs.
I would
Right.
hope.
And even if they weren't. If you need money to start a podcast, you shouldn't start a fucking podcast. That's fucking it.
Yeah. Right.
God, just
Exactly. Go to work and then do your little podcast on your own
Right.
time. Yeah.
And I've even
Like some idiots we know.
Right. And even a couple months ago, whenever it was, I told you guys, everyone out there that's listening, I told you what we spend every year. What did I say? $500 or $700
Right.
bucks a fucking
Right.
year. I mean, that's it. So
Right.
believe me, if we couldn't afford it, we'll shut down the microphones before we're going to try to beg for somebody to pay for this shit.
Mhm.
So anyhow,
We don't have to live that way today.
no, we don't. And you know what? And I'm gonna apologize a little bit, but it just fucking irritates me. And I part of me didn't want to go off, and I didn't want to bring it up. And I'm like, fuck it, because I want people to know that we don't want to be that way, and we're not that way.
Mm-mm.
If you donate, we said it before, we'll donate the money to somebody else. I mean, we don't need
Right.
it. I just want to make that very clear. Both of us do. Just don't need your fucking money. No offense.
Right.
Go spend your money on something else. It's okay. We'll get by.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay.
Yep. We
Right.
will.
Okay. So, where's the fucking Tylenol? God damn it. All right. So, how about some good stuff? Some good positive stuff.
Give me some good stuff.
Speaking of listeners, right? Okay, so first of all, I got an email from Gary the other day. We all know Gary was on Mike. He's turned out to be just he emails every once in a while. It's just he's turned
Nice.
out to be a friend without even knowing the dude. I mean, we had him on, and then I don't know, he emails. He's just he's a good fucking guy. We actually should have him on again. Is what we should. So Gary, let us know what your schedule looks like. We'll have you on again at some point. Find out what you're up to.
Nice.
But sent me an email on my anniversary and congratulated me and said happy anniversary, whatever it was through there. Just nice. And then here's a funny part. Hang on. You know what? Hold on one second. I got to look this up. So he was, first of all, he said that, he goes, I know it's your anniversary. He goes, I'm not quite sure when Mike's was, but I want to read the exact words because this fucking made me laugh. Okay. So, hang on one moment. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm happy Abe.
This is the professional stuff your money can buy.
Right. And I knew I might talk about this, and I didn't even see. I didn't even take the time to think about maybe pulling up Gary's email, but it said, he said, I know Mike's anniversary is soon too, but I did not catch the date on the podcast, and he is humble about it.
It's the 22nd. It's the 22nd. It's the fucking 22nd. Mark it on your calendars. Light a candle.
And then he said, "Hi, Mike," in all capital letters. So,
Hi, Gary.
but I emailed him back and I told him what your anniversary was. So, I'm guessing who knows, he may end up sending another email, but I don't know. It was just
Nice.
First of all, Gary's just a fucking cool dude, and we had a great conversation with him, but he just continues to be an active participant in this podcast, which is fun. And
Absolutely.
speaking of, we got a message from, and this was about our last episode. So there was a listener of ours. Her name is Shirley. I don't think I mentioned her name the last time, but she left a review the one time about one of us is more mature than the other one.
Ah.
Okay. So she sent us another message, but I'm going to reread her review that she gave us because it was fun. This was back from almost a year ago, May of 23.
Yeah.
So her review, this was not this one, but last year, while sampling the all-you-can-eat buffet of sober podcasts out there, I stumbled upon this one. The name alone drew me in, but the two hosts, both longtime sober dudes, both immature, but one decidedly more immature than the other, kept me coming back for seconds and thirds. It's a balanced plate of serious recovery stuff, spiced with cussing, general slices of life, and stupid banter that makes me laugh out loud. I just keep coming back for more. I never know what they're going to say, what they're going to serve up next, but I know I'll learn something useful to keep me sober. Love you guys. So that was her review that she gave us like a year ago, and I pushed her for a couple of different times trying to find out which one of us is supposedly more immature, but she wouldn't give it up. So
good.
I know, it's kind of funny. Keeps us guessing. So thank you, Shirley. But she left a comment on, it was one of the Monday or Tuesday, I think, one of the posts I did for the episode clip. And she said, I love this one so much, meaning our last episode. Hearing how you've rebuilt the burnt bridges with family is inspiring. It's hard, and most days I lack the patience, but I just keep putting one hiking boot clad foot in front of the other, also in a hiking boot. I'm not a weirdo. Hearing how love is a part of recovery. Working on it, not being a four-letter word in my life, meaning love. So keep on hiking, brothers. From one of your anomalous listeners, female and ready to cash in on those discounts. I don't remember us talking about discounts, but apparently we did. I'll trust her memory more than mine or yours. But Shirley, and I told her, it was just a comment on, obviously, in the Instagram post, but I told her, I said, listen up, we're going to talk about this. So thank you. We'll both thank you out loud and on the podcast. And we have, if nothing else, we have one female listener, and that's Shirley.
Right.
Okay, so
Shirley, we have a
Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley.
You can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley. I am, and don't call me Shirley.
But anyhow, so Shirley, do you have any female friends? Pass this along. Tell them to listen to this fucking nonsense. There's got to be somebody out there that thinks along the same lines as you do. Maybe not. That's fine. That's okay. But no, I just thought that it was nice. We don't get a lot of. I post those episode clips. Fucking every day. I mean, every day for 2 years and how many months, and rarely, we don't get a lot of play on them. That's a weird way to say it. We don't get a lot of comments or activity on those particular posts, but every once in a while somebody will make a comment, and just so you know, Shirley, it means a lot to do that, because it's the weirdest thing, and I don't think about it all the time anymore, but I mean, I'm sitting literally alone in a room, and Mike's sitting alone in a room, and we're just talking to, we do this. It just occurred to me, this is kind of how Mike and I pray. We don't know what we're praying to. We don't know why it works, but it does. We have no idea who we're talking to. I see some numbers, and we see some numbers that a certain number of people are listening, but I don't know. We just, you never know. Just because somebody listens doesn't mean they're getting anything out of it. So my point is, these comments mean a lot. They mean a whole fucking lot. They do. So thank you. So that's it. I have nothing else. Right. I think we're done. No. Let's end on a positive note for once, right? Oh, you want to hear a non-sober story? I didn't get to this last week. I just think this will make you laugh. Okay.
All right.
So there was this in again the radio show that I listened to in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
There was a woman that actually got she was sleeping at night and somebody broke into her home, so maybe this guy was on drugs. Let's make this a drug thing. So breaks into the house because he's got a drug habit. But anyhow, so goes in, and apparently this lady wakes up. It's got this guy over her, like with a gun, right? And her mentally disabled son is in the house too, and this and that. The guy's like, screaming, yelling, trying to find her where whatever it is. Ties her to a chair. Okay, so he's out rummaging through the house. Somehow, while she's tied to this chair, she either breaks a hand loose, whatever it is, but still tied to the chair. She gets back to her bed. She ends up having a gun like under her mattress. So grabs the gun, right? The guy comes back into the room. She starts fucking shooting. The guy starts fucking shooting back. Okay. So first of all, she killed the guy, right? But she also took 4 shots herself: leg, arm, stomach, and chest. Okay. Now here's the kicker: she's fucking 85.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck, if that happened to me, you might as well just kill me. Because two things.
Yeah,
I don't have a
right.
gun, and I don't know if I have
Right.
the wherewithal to take 4 fucking shots. But she took, I mean, yeah,
Wow.
again, and I wrote this down when they were doing it: leg, arm, stomach, and chest. Yeah, stomach
Damn.
and chest. Fuck leg and the arm, stomach and chest. Those are kill shots, either one of those. I mean, she's fucking 85. And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, when I wrote that, I'm like, I am such a fucking lazy piece of shit, man. I'm like, I get this fucking 85-year-old woman. Not only does she have, again, tied up gun, shot, killed the dude, and took the return. I'm like, fuck. I mean, part of it, I should be motivated, but I'm like, no, number one, it's funny because she's 85. And that's why they did the same thing. The story did the same thing, went through the whole thing and then said how old she was. So I wanted to say that because
Right.
you never in your life would expect
Yeah.
a fucking 85-year-old. But yeah, I get nothing, man. I mean, there's just no way.
Right. Yeah. Just, yeah. Well, exactly. Right. So I think the moral of the story is you take a look at me and you go, well, I'm not going to fuck with him, but there's this little old lady over there. I'm going to go fuck with her. Don't fuck with anybody.
Right? Yeah. Those are the ones. Yeah, it's the fucking 85-year-old lady that has God only knows what type of gun she had. Didn't even matter, man. Whatever gun she had, it was enough to kill his ass. It made me laugh. But I'm like, you fucking go, you old bitch. You fucking old bitch.
That's right.
You fucking I didn't take no shit. I'm getting my gun and I'm gonna kill you. I don't even, maybe that was Texas. I don't even remember what state it was in. It does.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah, now
it
that I
was.
think about it, I didn't even know. Didn't even get that part. But anyhow, more power to you. It's inspirational if nothing else. And I just realized that somebody breaks in any place I live, I'm gonna die. That's it. So
Right.
all right. So back to let's get back to some sober stuff. What do you think, huh?
Sure.
All right. So this was from Keep It Simple. It said, we can't be kind. I think this was from this week. We can't be kind and loving to others until we learn to be kind and loving with ourselves. It was talking about actually, the reading was talking about actually speaking to ourselves in a kind voice and treating ourselves well. So let's take, that's more the touchy-feely side of things, obviously, but
yeah, I remember reading that one.
So but the first part though, how do you feel about that? We can't be kind and loving to others until we learn to be kind and loving with ourselves. Let's start with that part. I know it's all kind of touchy-feely, but
right. I mean, it's all sort of wrapped together. But I mean, the way we were taught and the way it worked for me was I needed to start being kind to other people first, before I could truly, it all comes down to the worth, the self-worth. I'm worthless unless I have worth to someone else. And I think it works the same way with that. I can't be kind to myself unless I'm being kind to other people. If I'm a piece of shit to everybody around me, but I'm being good to myself, our perception's all fucked up, especially early on, because we thought we were being good to ourselves. We thought we were taking care of ourselves. We were making ourselves feel good, right? That's what getting loaded's all about, and so yeah, I mean, it's I understand the concept, but I need to start working on early in sobriety, and now I've got to be kind to other people in order to be kind to myself, because again, if I don't have any worth to anyone else, then I'm fucking worthless. Right. And how can I love myself and be good to myself if I don't have any fucking worth? I'm somewhere in there, I don't want to fucking waste my time on garbage. And if I'm garbage, why would I waste time on myself? So if I'm being good to other people, then I'm not garbage, and then I can be good to myself. Does that make sense?
Mean, it does. And when I first read it, and I wasn't thinking it, I agree with you, because we've talked about that too. Acting our way into better thinking.
Right?
Which I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I didn't. I think when I read this, I thought of it more as forgiving myself, because I had to forgive myself before I could, sometimes be forgiven by other people. Because if I was kind of beating myself up still, how could I even take forgiveness? But you're right. I mean,
and again, if you're wasting your time beating yourself up over what a piece of shit you were, instead of stop being a piece of shit and going out and being a good person, then you're wasting your time on the wrong thing. You need to use your time to make yourself better, and the easiest and quickest, and you guys want shortcuts, and the way to get there quickly is to do things for other people.
Right. Yeah, I like that, because I think that's a better way. It's a far better way to look at it, and really, and that's why when I wrote that down, I mean, again, it was kind of the touchy feely, talking to ourselves in kind voice and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and that's why that touchy feely shit doesn't work for me, right? I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna stand in front of the mirror, Stuart Smalley, and fucking, I'm good enough and I'm smart enough. Don't stand in front of the fucking mirror. Go out there and do something. Be good enough. Be smart enough, and then people will fucking like you.
Yeah, and really, it's like we were just talking about. We were forced to set up at meetings and hang out at meetings and do all this sort of stuff, and
shake hands, smile, make somebody else feel welcome, even when we're fucking uncomfortable and don't want to goddamn be there in the first place.
And and I can say this, I'm not an always or never type of person, but I've never walked out of a meeting in a worse mood than I have when I walked in. I've always walked in with a better mindset, if nothing else. And I've been to a couple of meetings where they just drone on and stuff like that, but I still didn't walk out, like in all fucked up. Usually 9 times out of 10, I got myself fixed in one way, shape, or form. And it's crazy. It's amazing, when you walk into a meeting and you're like, really? They're talking about that? Or when we wake up one morning, any of these mornings that we read something, we're like, well, fuck, I needed that, that type of thing. And even this thing that we do, we talked about it plenty of times. Both of us work. I mean, my days are longer and busier than they used to be. And I mean, I'm busier, more occupied at this particular job than I have been in a job in years. I'm on, and I'm talking all fucking day. I got to get on here for a fucking hour and a half to talk, which is fine, because I never walk away from this.
Because you never stop talking.
But I never walk away from this in a worse mood. We've gotten frustrated by some of the technology stuff, and I'm not in a bad fucking mood about it. I care about this, and you care about it. That we don't want to have to deal with this fucking technology garbage. But that's a great way to put it. So yeah, so fuck the touchy feely, right? Is that kind of our mindset? Yep. Fuck the touchy feely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Stop standing in front of the mirror and loving yourself, and get out there and do something for somebody else. How do I fucking finish these things every week?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Well, good. I'm actually glad I wrote that one down, because I don't know. It's just, again, it's that some of these things, when I write them down, I don't know what's going through my, like you said, maybe I wasn't awake. Because these are all first thing in the morning. These are within the first,
absolutely.
fucking
Me
half
too.
hour when I've gotten up, so.
Right. And for me, 10
Right.
minutes after my alarm goes off, I'm reading my books.
Yeah, in mine, usually it's by the time I, brush my teeth, put my contacts in, get my coffee. I've been up for 20 minutes by the time I sit down. It's every fucking morning. I'm 20 minutes awake, only a few sips of coffee in, to my
Right.
day. But sitting down wherever I need to be sitting down, reading whatever I need to be reading. So, and I don't know if we talked about this one, but I'll just start reading it if it seems it's from God Grant Me, but. It said guilt can be good. It tells us that we may be acting in a way that betrays our values. Did we read this one?
Yeah, it's the guilt versus shame
Yes,
thing,
says
right?
guilt asks that we keep our behaviors in line. Shame, on the other hand, tells us, okay, yeah, so you don't.
I
Okay.
read that one.
Well, fuck. What the fuck?
So if you want to hear more about this, go back and listen to some other episode.
Yeah, it's just
we don't know which one.
And so many of these readings have the same, everything's along the same kind of lines. But yeah, as soon as I started to read, I was kind of glancing at before I was going to read it out loud. I'm like, God, I think we actually read that one before, but
we did. We used that one as a reading.
I exactly think so. All right, so I have no idea where this one came from, but this could be a task. Today I will practice being kind. That's not the part. We can practice being kind. We talked about that. I will say hello to at least 5 people while I look them in the eyes and smile. I will notice what happens when I do this. Okay. So, 2 things. Now, you kind of like keeping yourself and all that stuff with the way that especially with the way that I work now, even when I was at Kathy's, I don't think I encounter 5 people in a day, But here's the thing. I mean, on the phone, I say hi to probably 70 people a day. That doesn't count, because I can't look them in the eyes, blah, blah, blah. But would that be, first of all, do you think that would feel like a chore for you to try to do that? And then not just say, hey, give them a head bob or something like that. Like actually look them in the eyes and smile when you do that. I'll tell you why I'm laughing here in a minute, but
I mean, again, practice these things.
Right.
Right. I still do. Yeah. I have to sometimes take that extra beat and engage the other person, because I don't fucking care. I'm going through my day. I'm doing my shit, whatever, I'm self-involved and I don't give a shit. But yes, I do. I've read that one several times, and yes, that is one thing that I do. Whatever. I mean, I go into the truck stop to buy a pack of cigarettes or something. The person behind the counter, I will look them in the eye and I'll smile, how you doing? And kind of mean it. I mean, and they're getting it from everybody constantly. I know I'm not going to get into some deep conversation with this person, but I'm going to try I do try to make those, 10, 15 seconds that they've got to interact with me, 10 or 15 seconds of their day that is not horrible. That's all I can fucking do, man. Because people, I see it. People go in and they're bitching and complaining about whatever the fuck, the pump's not working right, or they need a fucking receipt, or blah, 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 boo, boo, boo. I'm going to stand there and make the little interaction I have with these people as pleasant as I can. And that's, again, not my nature and not what I want to fucking do, but I do it because I know that's the next right thing to do.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because with if I go out to like anything, I would go to lunch at a firehouse, or like you said, go to a gas station, or especially with all this like travel and stuff like that. I mean, I'm certainly stopping at plenty of gas stations, but same deal.
Right.
Hey, how are you? Have a nice day, and thank you.
Yeah.
Please and thank you, and all this sort of things. And in general, the masses of people, that are walking in and out around me, I don't want to have anything to do with, for the most part,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for the people who are actually working and
Yeah.
doing their jobs and all that sort of things. And it's funny. I stopped at where the fuck was I? Was I here? I don't know. One of the I think I was here. I drove someplace because I wanted to go see this area just outside of where I'm at now. And so I went up to this town, half hour, 45 minutes away, grabbed something to eat. Then I ended up stopping at a Starbucks to get a cup of coffee. And I walk in and
Mhm.
there's like fucking nobody in there. It was a Sunday, I think, Saturday, I don't know, whatever day.
Well.
And basically I'm like, okay, that's what I want. I get basic coffee. It's a medium roast. I get a little pump of caramel syrup. I like that. That's it. She looks at her. She's like, we're out of that type of coffee, whatever it was. Like, if anything, I said, I don't
Mhm.
necessarily need the medium roast. That's usually like whatever Starbucks calls. I know what it is. It doesn't matter. Um, she's like,
Right.
no, we stopped brewing that at this time. And my first thought in my head was, are you fucking kidding me? You're a fucking coffee shop.
Right. What else are you fucking doing here?
But she's like, so that particular kind of, she's like, well, I can do one of two things. I could brew this and I'd be like 5 or 10 minutes in my head. I'm just like, but I'm like, you know what? I don't have any place to be. And I said, she's like, or
Mm.
you can take what's left in there. I'm like, yeah. I said, I'll go ahead and wait. She's like, oh, or I have this other one where I could do this. I could dump this over. She's like, I
Mhm.
could make it. And I've heard of it before, but I didn't know what this is, make it this way.
Mhm.
And basically it's a pour over type of coffee. And I understand it,
Right.
but I'm like, I said, no. I said, how long would the other one take? She's like, Corbin, I could do this. I know. I just do the other one. She's, you don't want the pour over one? She's like, I feel like I'm confusing. I'm like, you are, but that's okay. And she just laughed.
I'm
Yeah,
easily
but I'm
confused.
like,
It's
no,
fine.
I said, seriously, you are confusing me and it's okay. I said, I'll wait the 5 or 10 minutes. I'm good. She's like, okay. And I said, thank you. But part of me, my first thought
Mhm.
was literally, you're a fucking coffee shop. Okay. And I mean,
Right.
so in my head, I'm like, so you make a pot of coffee and you throw it out.
Uh-huh.
You charge me, $4 for a cup. Even if you had,
Mhm.
8 cups of coffee, if you had 10 or 12 cups of coffee in there, you're making $50 a pot. There's, $4 a product in there. You're fine. You can throw it out. All these things are spinning through my head, but I'm like, I'll wait the five or
Uh-huh.
10 minutes. I'm good. Because I'm like, I'm not. I don't. She doesn't need my shit. And
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
it's such one of those things where, and this is the part of kind of like what you said. The um people are walking in, they want a receipt, they want this, the pump's not working, because people have this expectation
Mhm.
when they go to a gas
Mhm.
station that they can get gas. They want a receipt, they can get a receipt.
Right.
I go to a coffee shop, I just
Right.
want a fucking cup of coffee. But it's
Yeah.
entitlement, right? And that's the problem, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Right. Expectations are resentments
Thank
waiting
you. I
to
couldn't
happen.
think. I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, what the fuck am I? What is that thing? There you go. Yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not entitled to shit.
right,
You know. I mean, clearly if I'm paying for a service, I expect a certain amount of, but if it doesn't happen, what, my world's gonna fucking crumble around me? No, it's a cup of coffee, it's a fucking pack of smokes, it's a burger,
right.
it's whatever. Settle down. None of it's that fucking important. And I'm certainly not that
Right.
fucking important.
Yeah, and it's just it is. It's hard sometimes, not to let again, these expectations, right? It can turn into resentments.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 100 things in a day that can fucking piss me off, especially if I have to be out in the people world. Just little thing. It doesn't
Right.
even matter what it is. Just like anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that
Right.
expectation that, well, this should happen this way and it didn't, so I'm going to get fucking pissed. But I mean,
Right. Again,
right,
control issues, right. I want this to happen this way. This is the way it's supposed to happen. No, man, it's going to happen the way it fucking happens. And, or it might not happen. Ooh, okay. And then what? Now
right.
what are you going to do? You're going to fucking roll around on the floor and fucking cry like a baby? Or are you going to stand there and go, well, I guess this isn't working out the way I thought it was going to work out. All right, then.
Yeah, well, I guess this is the way it's going to work out then.
I guess this is the way it's going to be. And in the meantime, I'm not going to make everybody around me fucking miserable because it didn't go my
Right.
goddamn way.
Yeah, because the same thing.
Yep.
That the nice smiley person, behind the counter at Starbucks, and she was very kind. She was giving me the facts. She wasn't a
Sure.
dick about it. I've been plenty of
Right.
places, when people are dicks about it, and but still,
Right.
then I tried not to. That's even harder to not be a dick when they're being a dick. But You want to outdick the
Right.
dick.
Right. Yes. Right. I will win.
Right.
But right, you also don't know. She could have been dealing with 14 dicks before you. Maybe even bigger dicks than us. I know that's tough to believe, folks, but there
Right.
are people out there that are bigger
Right.
assholes than we
Yeah.
are.
And it's just every once in a while, it's it's best, not even every once in a while, it is best to be the best type of person you could be, because again, like you said, you have no idea what
Yep.
people are dealing with. Same thing. People don't
Mhm.
know what we're dealing with, but we can't control them, but we can control how we treat these, these kind folks that are out there working their asses off. So
Right.
yeah. So what else? I'm going to be in Cleveland tomorrow after a
Yes,
11 or
you
12
are.
hour drive. Or
Where are you
yeah,
staying?
you know what? It's funny. It's funny that even then, even the 10th time.
Right, I know.
Yeah,
It
it
never
does never
gets
get old.
old.
But I just keep reminding you that you invited me to stay, because I don't have to.
I know. I gave you a
I
goddamn
know.
key,
I know.
man. Jesus Christ. What am I going to do? I could get my gun out of my mattress and
Yeah. If I could shoot me as I walk in, if I wouldn't. I wouldn't even have
Right.
I wouldn't even have the desire. I was going to say the strength. I wouldn't even have the fucking wherewithal to try to tie somebody up these days. I'm like, fuck.
No.
I'm not even gonna. I'm not gonna break in because I know I'm gonna have to tie
Well,
somebody up.
unless they
Well,
want me
that's a
to.
different story, because then the person at least is gonna lay there and you got something nice to look at, hopefully, while you're tying them up. But if everyone understands what we're talking about, eh? Huh?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But so yeah, I mean, next weekend, Mike's anniversary is on Monday. I mean, it's not fronting. It is what it is.
Yep.
I don't know if
Well,
he.
it is my anniversary of my
Yes.
sober date. Whether I make it there or not, I
Great
haven't
point.
done it yet.
Great
but
point. But
right.
Mike has given me permission. I don't remember if we talked about this on last week's podcast, but apparently, not only I'm allowed to announce my anniversary at his home group this week. I didn't think I was allowed
Right.
to until he told me that it was okay for me to do that. So. Do you remember that conversation we were having?
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, you're allowed to do it at my home group." I'm like, "Really?" I think that was Easter
Yeah.
when we were talking.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so anyhow, I've gotten permission from my friend Mike, so I'm going to announce. But no, so
right, because no, we do not govern. I am a humble servant. You can do whatever the fuck you want at my
and that's
meeting.
why I just made a point about it. I thought it was fun. But yeah, so next week is going to be our anniversary episode, and I don't know, we never really have anything planned. I don't know what the fuck we'll talk about, but anytime I have notes. Everyone knows I have fucking notes, but especially for something like an anniversary episode, I don't know. We'll just talk about how fucking great we are. I think is probably what.
Right, usual shit.
Right.
I'm expecting a balloon from Gary, but other than that, I have no idea
Gary,
what's going to happen.
Send us a gift, Shirley. We need another comment. We need something to talk about.
Right?
Come on, guys. Fucking do your part, man. What the fuck? All right, but no, seriously, I'll say obviously thank you again, Gary. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you. We realize there's other people out there that is giving us reviews and
right. Even you passive listeners, we appreciate you
absolutely.
too.
It just it's little comments like that, they really mean a lot. It's I can't even explain. I feel like a little kid sometimes when I read these, and when I get them, I put them down, and I look forward over everything else to reading these on here, because I don't share any of this shit with Mike, and we stopped. We try not to have conversations. We don't really have, like, not that we don't, but there's certain things that we've been in person, we're like, I can't talk about this, we're going to talk about it on Friday, and literally we'll cut off conversations with each other. But so yeah,
save it for the show.
So these things, in Mike's not on Instagram, so I know he wouldn't see it. So I'm like, I look forward to sharing these things. I don't know, it's wonderful. It's nice. I don't know how else to put it. So it is what it is. It's great.
Right. We appreciate you appreciating
we
us.
appreciate you appreciating us. Hey, all the appreciations on this side of the table.
That's
and
right.
with that, you know what? Let's get the fuck out of here. What do you think?
Let's do it, man. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, smile at that person at the store, do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. Now it's time, kids. It is that time. It is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream. And keep fucking off forever.
You know what? It's kind of weird. Now I'm waiting for delays and all that shit. It's amazing. It is amazing how
know.
used to fucking garbage that you get. How
You get comfortable sitting in your own shit? Is that what you're
and
trying to say?
it's not as though we didn't try to fix it along the way. We didn't just let it
Mhm.
be. But it's no matter what we did,
Right.
it's just like fuck me, But yeah, number one,
Mhm.
it was a full run. I mean, we had a full episode, no stopping, no breaks, no nothing. Like I said, one
Well.
little time when your personality came out, you were bubbly. And literally, like I said, what it sounded like is just like underwater for a minute, just bubble. I could hear you, and I'm
Hmm.
same thing.
Right.
It'll sound perfect on the recording. I know that won't be a problem, but so nobody else is going to hear it. But that's actually got to be the funniest part when people are listening to this, going, "I didn't fucking hear a thing."
Right.
But the delay we couldn't that we couldn't hide. So, all right, man.
Yes.
I think we're fucking done. So, I love you,
I
brother.
think we are.
And
I
I will
love you
talk.
too.
Not only I'm going to see you tomorrow. What?
You're going to sleep in my fucking house
Exactly.
tomorrow.
All right, man. I love you, brother. Bye.
All right. Love you
I
too.
will.
Drive safe. Bye. And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream. And keep fucking off forever.